All right, it is time to do a CSS battle. Still have yesterday's up. Where is today's? It's not loaded. There it is. Okay. The spell style today. That's impressive. Off to a wonderful start. And I get the wrong bracket. All right. Um, Background. I mean, there's a couple boxes. One of them is skewed. I'm not very good at using skew. I know there's skew X, skew Y. I don't really understand them. We'll see how it goes. Um, no, I can't do a linear gradient. I mean, I can. So my question is, if I use my body for the brown box, the 22 color, which, let's play with something for a second. Cohen said you could just use 222. Let's try. Oops, there's one. Looks right. We'll see if the back end thinks it's right. I don't know why not. Margin 100. That's too much, but not much too much. Okay, 80. And then 120, 130, 80, 130. Now my question is, if I can put the white box inside of that. And I don't know the answer, but we're going to find out. There's my paragraph tag. Has to have some padding or some height or something. Back on the FFF. There's the thing. Now let's see if I can skew it. So I just skew 45. That doesn't work. Let's see how skew works. CSS skew. I've used it before, but I never remember it. Transform skew. Does it have to be transform? I guess skew angle x angle y. Skew x angle x. It has to be transform, I guess. CSS skew without yes. Yeah. Evidently no. It has to be used with transform. Okay. Which means the signature is going to be more like that. Okay. Actually, that looks pretty close. Size is just completely wrong. And the location is completely wrong. Rather than that, it's perfect. Margin. 80, we keep minus 50, 40, 30, 30, 20, 10. 0. Is that a match? That's a match. Okay. Is there anything to clean up? I mean, I use background 3 times. I can save a character by making that into a custom prop. Var minus minus b, comma. Whoo, that's way shorter. Margin I only use twice. Can 80 be a percentage? Let's see. Why can I change that and nothing happens? I guess I don't really need that because this other margin's pushing it down anyway. That's why. Can this be 80 and this be 0? Yes. Okay, now back to my initial question. Can this be a percentage? Looks like it. Saves a character. Uh, Padding 70. I don't see a whole lot else to save here. I mean, the problem with this one is there's not much there to use trickery on. Can I? Hmm. So I could move everything up by having the background. Let's get rid of some stuff. Let's get rid of the custom prop and put a background here. I'm not sure if it's shorter. Not sure if it's going to be shorter to do this as a conic gradient than have another element in the background. So I'm gonna cheat just because it's going to get me to a solution quicker, and I'll know the number. I'm going to use minify and submit. Okay, 725. Now I'm going to prettify, and I'm going to start hacking about. Feel free to not watch me hack about because it probably is going to result in nothing good because it usually doesn't. Alright, so instead of that, we're going to use background, conic, gradient. It's going to be green color, 75%, and then brown color, which is 222, 25%. We're going to get rid of that. And let's get rid of everything. There's that. Now, is it right? No, it's not. But that's okay. Should have kept that. This is going to be at, and then I need a comma for this to work. It's going to be at 25%, 25%. Now it's applying to the body as well, so let's make it not apply to the body for a minute, just to keep me less confused. Right, it needs to be wider, so let's see. 30%. Then we're going to offset it 50 pixels, 90 pixels, 110 pixels, 130, I think it was my margin, yeah. All right, now it's going to be wider 35%. That looks correct. Now it's going to be offset in the vertical axis as well. I don't know what that was, 80 pixels? Can't tell with the diff one. That actually looks correct. But now it needs to be taller. So is that 35? Nope, it's more than that. 45? That looks close, but is not. 40? Nope, more. 8, 7, 6. It's not a percentage. What's that going to be? Like 100 pixels? 150, 40, 140 pixels. So there's that one. Now, the body, which I can select with star, Where is the body? If that's the background, the body should be everywhere, basically. Outline, 1 pixel solid. There's the body. Now, margin, 130, 80. Clearly not the correct numbers. I think those are exactly backwards, maybe. 80, 130 makes it that size, which is also incorrect, but that's okay. Now, transform, skew, 45 degrees. There's that thing. That thing has a transparent background, which is not the background that I want. I want it to have a background of that. And I want the outline to be off, and that should be a match. So the previous solution was 122 characters. This one minified is going to be 132 characters, so it's going to be longer. Can I save things? Let's minify. Yeah, that's 132. So that didn't help me any. It made it worse. Which is why we experiment. Are there other tricks? Of course there are. The question is, am I smart enough to know them? So can't. I mean, I could do a box shadow for the background, but then I'd have to. No, I don't have to turn off the box shadow. So let's try this. Let's try background. Do I need a background? Yes. Background. Well, not that color. Background is that. Right? Yeah. And then box shadow 0.009 inch. This color. Oh, because it's not. There's no margins. Now, the problem is this is gone. So I have to say margin 0 to get it back. That's 115 characters. That's shorter. So let's minify, submit, minify. 14 minutes. So that is better. The extension tells you the minified character count there. So it's minifying in the background anyway and telling you how much it's going to be, which is kind of cool. Now I think I made this a percentage. Did I? 20%. Save one more character. Well, it should. Minify doesn't tell me it does. Oh, the percent is the same. It just saves a space. Okay. Never mind. Nothing to see here. Uh, can I get, no, that's not going to work. I was wondering about this color, but this color is against white, right? That's the wrong one. That's the one I want. It says you might get away with this. I probably can't get away with that. Yeah, that's not going to work. Yeah, nope. Is there a better? Let's. Um, so I'm shorthanding skew, so I don't have to use. I said skew X, so I'll get the same thing, right? Yeah. So I'm using a shorthand of skew and not specifying the second value, which is working. The skew CSS function is a transform function data type. Angle, I could say like a quarter turn, but that's going to be longer. I don't think I could say a percent. It'd be, wouldn't be 25%, it'd be 12.5%. Doesn't seem to like that. 45 degree. All right. We're going to minify and leave it there. I'm sure there are people more clever than I that are doing this in less characters, but that's okay. Thanks for watching. If you stayed this far, I'm sorry. See you next time.